I'm in a Social Security trap and I can't get out. Stick around, I'll tell you how I'm digging. So how did I get myself into this mess? Well, it all started a long time ago when I knew nothing about Social Security. You know, when you're young, you don't look at these things, but I was a homemaker for 35 years. I raised 6 children. And I only worked a few part-time jobs, which actually was a big tax on the family. So I didn't do a lot of work outside the home. I actually homeschooled my 6 children as well. I was very busy. Well, come to find out, you can't always count on your spouse's income. And I found out the hard way. He left. And I know what you're thinking, and you're right, but that's water under the bridge. So now what was I to do with no income, no career? And on top of it, I spent all those years building a family, a large supportive family. I wasn't done with that because, lo and behold, grandchildren came along. And at the time that my husband left, I was providing full-time daycare for 2 of my grandchildren and part-time for 2 more. So I still, wasn't working outside the home at that point. But then suddenly I'm in a bind. However, to make a long story short, I fell in love and I got remarried. And that was the problem with Social Security. So I can no longer collect Social Security on my husband's Social Security, my ex-husband's Social Security. I'm on my own now, which I actually never collected Social Security at all. But as I became of age, I was already remarried. And so, and then I look into Social Security, which I should have done a long time ago. So let that be a lesson. Look into Social Security and see what you need to do when you're young. Well, now I need to get these 40 credits, which I had some because I did work some part-time jobs when my kids were growing up. It was very stressful in the family and I didn't do a lot of it, but I did have some credits built up. But now I can only build up 4 a year. And I'm still supporting this large family because I still provide full-time daycare for my grandchildren, and I didn't want to give that up. I feel like, I tell my family, we're not rich, we don't have money, but we have each other. That's what we have. We have a large, supportive, loving family. And my providing full-time daycare for the last 20 years for my 12 different grandchildren, different ages, has, I think, really helped glue the family together in many ways. And I'll do a whole nother video on that. But anyway, here I am trying to collect 40 credits at 4 credits a year. And I believe I'm not, a Social Security expert. It's somewhere around $1,600 now, I believe, per credit. I'm not sure. So what did I do? Well, a long time ago, I started selling some things on eBay, which I could never even get a credit out of per year because I just wasn't making enough. And then a few years ago, I was lucky to get a large lot of items and I was able to make 2 credits, which wonderful. Now, keep in mind, I do this all part-time because I watch the grandkids full-time. Well, that just wasn't enough to get these credits. So, I'm on my own, try to get my Social Security credits. My husband works full-time and all the overtime he can get. So that has, been that's the blessing in my life. And on top of it, he supports me taking care of the grandchildren. He very much supports it and I'm very grateful for it. So if I don't get my Social Security points and he stays healthy and is able to work, things will go okay. But I am trying. Let me explain to you how I've been able to accumulate some points in the past few years. So 3 years ago, I started trying to publish my own coloring books on Amazon. And the first year was a negative. I spent more money on all the software and on the ads than I made. So the first year I hit an 8. The second year, which was the year previous, 2024, I was able to get, I think, 3 credits for my Social Security through the sales of these coloring books. I probably could have done a whole lot better, because a lot of people do, but I'm terrible at marketing. However, I was able to get a few credits. Now this year, I'm doing about the same as last year, and I think I'll get 3 and possibly 4 credits this year, I'm hoping, which will really help. So basically, this business of selling coloring books has helped me to gain slowly some credits. And I'll put the link to my website for the coloring books so you can see what I do and how. Basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to build up not just the credits, but enough so that eventually that will make up for the small amount of Social Security that I'm going to get. Because if you only have the minimal amount of credits, you obviously don't have the income to get much Social Security per month anyway. So that's my Social Security trap. That's how I'm digging myself out. If you're in the same kind of situation, please make a comment. Let me know how you're dealing with it or how you've dealt with it. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Maybe someone could answer that question. And thanks for watching. We'll go into some of those other stories later, maybe how I'm doing my coloring books. But thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of my video. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. You're awesome. And please subscribe. I'd like to really make this channel grow with your help. And I'd really appreciate it if you would like the video or subscribe. Take care and have a blessed day.